The title of this video is that God is cutting the time short. Now, if you haven't realized that you didn't listen to your news, recently in Libya, 20,000 people, this happened yesterday, 20,000 people have just died from a flood. As we know, they said, of course, the numbers that they state on the news is not accurate. But they said that over close to 3,000 people died in an earthquake in Morocco. Right? Okay. And as we know, the Maui fires, which were nothing but lasers, that the wicked one and his cohorts used to destroy Lahaina, that destroyed over 2,000 something. And I guess there was thousands that were missing. They said there was 1,000 people that were missing that were from schools. I'm not going to say the name. Children were missing, right? Now, mind you, all these things have happened in a span of 2 weeks. Do you remember back in the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, when one catastrophe happened in the world, it would take it shocked everyone because it was so irregular. It was so not usual. You would think, oh, one catastrophe happens. A lot of times it happened through a hurricane. There'd be a hurricane that happened, and it would take years before another major catastrophe happened. Now these catastrophes are speeding up. It seems like every day or every other week there's some huge thing that goes on. Let's just go back in the wheel of time, right? Not 4 or 5 months ago, we remember that there was a fire, or the trains derailed. I think it was in Ohio, that caused the big plume of smoke. It contaminated all the waters, the air, and people were basically to get out of there because it was, their land and all the resources and just contaminated them. This stuff has happened in a span of about 4 or 5 months. All of these different calamities, right? My question is, and the things that I think about is, why don't people, even if you are not someone that believes in the Bible, you don't believe that the word is true, you believe that it's just a crutch for people that they use because they don't like their position in life. You think that the Bible is something that people just, they've been duped with. This is words that came from man, the white man, to control the world, to take over the world. At some point, you would say, okay, well, even if that is my hypothesis, even if that's what I believe, when I read these words and I see everything coming to pass that this word has said would come to pass, you would maybe think to yourself, maybe there's some validity in what I am reading, right? Maybe there's something to this book that everyone seems to scoff against, mock. They say that it's not real, so it has no position or no place in their life. Okay, so since those things that have just been occurring all throughout the world, calamities, you would ask yourself, or a reasonable thinking person would ask themselves, why? Because why is the question that everyone always asks themselves when anything happens. Why did this happen? Why did this happen? Now, mind you, even the atheists always say, why would God let this happen? Even when they say they don't believe in God, right? But that's another story. You would ask yourself, why is this stuff happening? Okay, so you have an answer that the elites and those that run this world have given us. That answer is global warming. Because of global warming, it's causing all the poles to shift. I mean, it's causing the temperature to rise. The water levels have gotten warmer. The air quality, I mean, it's causing the jet streams to be more frequent and out of balance and corrupt and just more volatile. So you would say, okay, well, that's the reason for the hurricanes. You would say, oh, well, earthquakes just happen, like the earthquake that just happened in Morocco and all these other earthquakes that have happened throughout, the past year, right? You say earthquakes just happen, that's just the natural cycle. So you can kind of explain that away, right? Then you say, oh, well, forest fires like the ones that just happened in Canada, And I live closer to that area in Canada, not in Canada, but I live closer to that area. You would say, and the smoke and the smell that was, and the fog and the smog that was all over my city and the surrounding cities, pretty much all over the state. It was overwhelming. The index, pollution index, was like over 300. Now, if anybody knows anything about a pollution index, when you get to 300, even 200, even high 100s, that is dangerous. You should not be going outside, right? So we know all these things are happening, right? And you still say to yourself, okay, well, it has been hot, and so it is possible that something, could catch on fire. The forest will catch on fire, and that's the reason. So basically, what we have is a whole bunch of excuses for why things are happening, right? That the media is telling us, and what the people that are in power are, the messages they're giving, the talking points that they're giving these people that are on the news to tell us, right? Now, of course, the reason why they're giving, you receive all these messages which don't line up with reasoning, with reality, with sanity, is because they're trying to cover the works of the Most High God. When he said that he would destroy the nations in the last days, the nations will be destroyed not only for the wickedness, but for what they did to his children, the true Israelites, which are the Negroes scattered to the earth. Now, I know a lot of you guys possibly don't know anything about the 400-year prophecy. 400-year prophecy said this. Well, first of all, the Most High said that there's nothing new under the sun in his word. Since the children of Israel were in Egypt, when they were in Egypt, they were there for less than they were in slavery, not for 400 years. That's a deception. That's a person's unlearned that would think that the children of Israel were in Egypt in slavery for 400 years. It was more like a little bit over 200 years, but they still were in bondage there. They sojourned there for 400 and some years, maybe a little bit more. And what happened was, when the children of Israel were in their captivity in Egypt, the thing that showed that their captivity was almost going to be over were plagues. The plagues that the Most High Yah sent to Egypt, based on that Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he did not want to let his people go. He told him, if you go back and read the Exodus, and you read what happened with the children of Israel, the Pharaoh didn't want to let his children go. And so he sent the plagues. He sent all these catastrophes. The firstborn died. You had pestilences. You had the different, like the water being turned to blood. You had all of these different things that were happening. This is where the Passover occurred, where all the children of Israel, they put blood on their doorpost in order to save themselves from the wrath of the Most High that was being poured out on the children of Egypt, right? The firstborn, and pretty much, on the firstborn. So the children of Israel were safe while all of these different anomalies, these different horrific natural disasters from the hand of the Most High were happening, right? Now you have a situation with all of these different plagues I just told you about are occurring in the world. He says there's nothing in the sun. So what happened before will be repeated now. But your media, your news media, will not let you know it. They won't show it on the news. They won't give any type of reference to this being of God, because they're evil. So it's not going to be, oh, well, God is causing these things based off of something that we are doing, which is wrong. They're not going to say, of course, you know this. This is just, I'm just speaking. You know this. God is judging us because we have done wrong. They don't believe in God, or they believe in, they know he's real, right? These ones at the higher up, these news people that are on your news, these newscasters, they know of all these things. They're in secret societies. They have the playbook. They have the talking points from their God, Satan, and their handlers and their higher ups, right? Because it says that we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities and wickedness in high places. But they're not going to ever tell us that these things that are happening are out of their control. Now, listen. So you have these wicked. This is you have the wicked, right? Like, let's go back to Lahaina, the fires that happened and destroyed Maui. You would say, okay, well, they're trying to give you a narrative that we're having forest fires. And that's the reason why it happened. When we know, those that are in the knowledge and that do their study, these are lasers that they are using to zap certain locations in order to destroy the population, cause them to move out so they can create smart cities, right? They want to create smart cities. Go do your study. You have to study to be approved. That's what the Bible said. So they are using their natural fallen angel technology in order to completely desecrate certain lands and certain places, right, for their own gain, so they can move in and move the people out. Now, you would say to yourself, well, that's not of God. Why would he allow that to happen? Right? So here's what you need to know. This is what you need to know. The Most High God creates the good and the evil. Let's say that again, because I know I lost a lot of you with that. A lot of you are going to think now, oh, the Most High God creates the good and the evil, so he's doing the yin-yang thing. He's an evil God. Why would he allow evil to happen to people? He's supposed to be our creator and the one that loves us. That's the Christianity that you learned all your life, that is shown you. Now, I'm not going against Christians that believe in the Most High God, that believe that, and a lot of them say Jesus is their Savior because the name, they don't know the name, and they're not going to change the name for nothing. I'm not going against them, because check on this channel. I have told you it's spirit and truth. Now, I'm not saying you can say any name and say just make up any name for Christ and God. That's not what I'm saying. I say Father Yah because of my study, because of my acumen, because of the relationship that I have and what I've done, or my relationship, right? My study. But there's a lot of people that still say Jesus. I say Yahusha, right? But that's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about. What this is that a lot of people say, why would God do this? Why does he allow this to happen, right? Is he doing it with his own hand, destroying these people, causing these? No. The Most High is so infinite and so powerful and so everything and has all control. He says he creates the good and the evil. Like I told you on this channel, sin is is the main prerequisite for you being, or anyone being destroyed or being judged by the Most High. He will allow things to happen to you in your life based on the way you are walking before him. The Most High doesn't sleep nor slumber. The Most High Yah hates sin. He hates sin. Sometimes he'll wink at sin. And you've been doing a sin and you ask for forgiveness, you keep going back to it, or you're ignorant to it, and he'll wink at it. You may even be knowingly sinning. And the Most High, because of his infinite love and mercy and grace, he may allow you to sin and not judge you right away, to show you his love, his mercy, right? And allow you to do something that even goes against him. You know, listen, Christ was on the cross at Calvary. He says, forgive them, for they know not what they do. They were spitting on him. They were mocking him. They were saying all manners of evils towards him. But he still prayed to his Father. He prayed to his Father. He said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. So this shows you the heart of God, even now so. He'll allow us, he'll wink sometimes at our sin and let us go through and get another chance and all these things, right? Right? So, in like fashion, these people, since the Most High God creates good and evil, this is back to my point, he will allow the wicked one to do things in order to turn his people around, or to get people to say, oh, I see what time it is right now. A lot of stuff's happening. I got to get my life right. I got to turn away from my sin. I have to do this. I have to do this because I'm in the wrong. I got to do. He'll allow it. That's what it means by he creates the good and the evil. He doesn't create the evil to do evil to us. The Most High God creates the evil in order to get us right with him so that we will be saved. so that we will turn away, see the errors of our ways, and see that we are not on the right standing with him, and turn away from our sins to him. He doesn't just do evil like the fallen one because he hates us, because the fallen one hates us, and that's all. He hates God's creation. Even those that serve him, because they're the image of the Most High God, he hates us. We are created, we are, as a human family, we are created to be even higher than the angels. Satan, the fallen one, he knew that. And that's one of the main catalysts, the reasons why he hates us, because we are in the Most High God's image, and that we would be even higher than angels. We would judge angels. The fallen one has power that he has been allowed to have by the Most High God. He is the ruler, of this world right now. He is the God of this world. And he's not a God, but he has been put in a position of power for a temporary period of time until his time is up, because he's already been judged by the Most High God to burn in a lake of fire forevermore. Hey, are you the one that said that the word made the nations tremble? You're the one, right? Are you the man that made the nations tremble? So the fallen one has power, but here, listen to this. Since the Most High God creates good and evil, he creates both the good and the evil. Nothing in this world or in existence happens without the Most High God having the ability to change it or stop it or do whatever. He is God. We need to stop in our daily lives. And when you think about God and you think about your circumstance, you think about what's going on in your life, you have to get to the place where you recognize his omnipresence, his omnipotence, his total power. He is God. He can stop it all if he wants to stop it. But he allows things to happen, even if they seem evil to you and me, because he also says that his ways are higher than ours. So something that you may think in your finite mind is so evil, he could be working it for his final purpose. That's the reason why, for me as a man, I understand this. I've gone through things in my life which made no sense at all. And I'm like, how can a loving God, I never said, how can a loving God do this to me? I was never that guy. I'm not that guy. I've always known that the problem has been with me. And I have to get myself right and get on his path and start following his ways and line myself up with him. And in these things, he might have mercy on me. His word says, hope in his mercy. Hope in his mercy, right? So these things happen. Now, here's my point. So these people, they do have weather machines. They can create hurricanes. They can create earthquakes. They can do all these things. Flooding and all these things. And you're like, only the hand of God can do that. No. God has given the power to these people to be able to do it. So whatever power they have, even if you say it's fallen angel technology, who gave the fallen angels knowledge of the ability to do this? Have you thought to yourself that? Who gave fallen angels the knowledge to be able to create things that would actually change realities in our world? The Most High God. But if you read the book of Enoch, so you got to read, it says that the fallen angels, yeah, they got some of the knowledge from heaven. This is paraphrasing. They got some of the knowledge, yeah, but they only got the simple things. They didn't get all the vast knowledge of God. He says, can you measure the clouds and see what the rain, how much rain is coming down, or can you measure this? Can you measure? There's so many things that the Most High God did not show them. They were kicked out of heaven. They're now fallen. They're doomed. And they have some knowledge, right? They hate mankind along with their power, their Satan. So their thing is this. They'll use every power at their disposal to cause us to fall, or try to cause us to fall. God creates good and evil. So these weather machines, like I'll go back to the Lahaina, they were lasers. It was not any fire. There was not any natural occurrence that happened to destroy that land. These people are being judged. This is the judgment on the nation. He says he's going to burn the world with fire. Do you remember that? I'm going to burn the world with fire. Now, I'm on this channel. This is just my hypothesis from what my study is. I could be wrong on this next one. And I will go to the comment section in a second. Guys, mind you, I will make another live a little bit later. I'm at work right now, and the Most High Yah is giving me revelation that I believe, right? He says, I'm going to plead to the world for my people. A lot of people on other channels say this pleading happens in a time later, right? The pleading. Pleading with God, check this out. He pled with Babylon to turn away from their sins and to let his people go during the World War I. During, let's go back further, the Civil War. During World War II, the Vietnam War. During all the major catastrophes that have happened in what we call America or Babylon. Do you understand what that really was? Open your spiritual eyes. It was the Most High God pleading for his people. See, I'm not one that, see, listen to this. Listen to this fact right here. They shall be eating and drinking and married, and then the end shall come. There's a lot of people that say, oh, the end is later on. And it might be, because there's things that have to happen, the Exodus and all these things, right? Do we really know that how many bowls of judgment do we know if they've not been opened now? Or have the seals been opened now? Ask yourself, do we really know if the pleading is something he's doing and showing us right now, that he's pleading these nations now to let us go? He said Babylon would not let them go. Let us go. Why? Because there's nothing new under the sun, and just like Pharaoh, their heart shall be hardened. They shall not let us go because they have a mindset that they are above God. They believe that God does not have the power to change the way they operate in their mind, the way they operate in their lives, the decisions they make. So they believe, just like Pharaoh, nothing new under the sun. I'm not letting these people go. If I let these people go, that's going to be my wealth. That's going to be my power. That's going to be taken away. No, I'm going to continue. I believe, this is what I'm starting to believe. He's pleading now. The Most High is pleading now with all these catastrophes happening. But here's the title of the video. I will shorten the time. Why? Listen to this. This is the title of the video. I'm doing better. Sticking to the point. I'm going to shorten the time because these people are now trying to do transhumanism, change the body biologically. They're trying to put stuff in the body with that jab to change people's biological makeup so that they can't be what? Saved. Like the times of Noah. What was happening in the times of Noah? The people became hybrids because the fallen angels started mating with the women in the seed, changing the seed. So much so, there was only 8 people that were left on earth, Noah, his wife, and his 3 sons and their wives, that were worthy to go into the boat to the ark. Everyone else was hybrid, not worthy, just not, they were not human. That's the reason the Most High destroyed the world with the flood the first time. This shall be like the times of Noah. So I will shorten the times because Satan, okay, if I destroy the children of Israel, there'll be nothing left for God to come back to. He said that God forbid, he said, if I let my people be destroyed, then basically the sun would not shine. He's like, I would cause the sun not to shine. That's like the sun not shining. That's like, pretty much, I'm paraphrasing. Everything will be destroyed if his word was made null and void. And we know that his word will never be made null and void. He says he is for his people, if his people, the children of Israel, and those that love him, but this is for the children of Israel, the Negro scattered to the four corners of the earth. If he lets us be destroyed, all of us, if he doesn't have a remnant anymore, if this world has, and Satan, his attempts to destroy us, if it actually comes to fruition, it comes to pass, and everything the Most High God says is null and void, and you actually think that's going to happen? So basically, he's cutting the time short because the enemy has a thought in his mind. You know what? I know who God, Satan says, I know who God is. I know his word is true. My goal is to destroy his people, to take his people with me. I know I can't win. I know that I'm going to fail. But my goal is to take his people with me. So how do I do this? I destroy his chosen people, and I put the thought in the people that have taken his seed, those that are not of God's seed, that are Satan's seed. I'll put in their mind oh, let's change the creation. How do we stop the catastrophe? I think that his people have the witches, the warlocks, those that serve Satan. They know they're up against God. They know they're up against the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but they just don't. They've been deceived. Satan said that they will be deceived. So he's like, I will deceive. Satan has told his people. I think this is what I think on this channel. They believe they're fighting against God, but they gaslight us to make us believe there is no God, right? They want us to believe that we are gods, but they secretly know there is a God. But they believe that they're fighting that God and that they will win. Now their God, which is Satan, which is no God at all, he knows they won't win, but he's deceived them to believe that they will win. So he says, okay, you got to destroy the Negroes. You got to destroy the Israelites. You got to destroy those that serve God, that trust in Christ, that he came and died for their sins. Make them other. If he makes us other, so that we're not of his seed anymore, that means we can't be saved. If he puts that stuff that people took, I'm not saying it's the mark of the beast, but who knows? If they change their diet, their DNA and their biological makeup to where they can't hear from God anymore, they don't have the God's essence, it's been tainted. Times of Noah. What was on the times of Noah? Hybrids. So, title of the video, I'm going to shorten the time. If I did not shorten the time, there would be no flesh left. What I think he was really saying is, if I didn't shorten the time, even the elect would fall. Does it start to make sense to you? If I didn't shorten the time, these people would change my creation to be hybrid so that they could not be saved. So he's shortening the time now. But, of course, because people are scoffers, where is the sign of his coming? All these things are happening and he hasn't shown up yet. He says, okay, I'm going to shorten the time so that the enemy cannot change all my creation. I'm going to have my remnant. If I didn't shorten the time, I wouldn't have my remnant, because they would be what? Hybrid. The jab, the transhumanism, and not just that, the spiritual aspect of men think they're women, women think they're men, they think they can be dogs, they think they can be, it's also spiritual. The reprobate mind. You can't be saved because you're reprobate. You can't hear nothing no more. Because when you have, he says that last point, I got to go to work. I'll make another video. I promise, guys. I'll answer your questions. Come back to my next video. If you see a notification, I'll finish this later. He says that, okay, men will think they're women, women will think they're men. This is a spiritual thing, right? The reprobate mind. Here's the point. There's a time when the times of the Gentiles is over. Is that time now? When that full number comes in, because the fall of the children of Israel, which allowed the Gentiles to have an opportunity to come into the fold of the Most High God. Is that time now over for the Gentiles, to now where you're seeing all these things and there's those that can't be saved anymore? I'm not saying don't minister to people. I'm not saying don't ask the Most High to save people and to love people and to pray for them. I'm not saying it. Keep doing it. You ain't hear that on this channel. What I'm saying is the times of the Gentiles over. So now the that's here is the reprobate ones. This is Israelites too. Because check it, there'll only be a remnant of the Israelites to come in. So not all Israelites look like me. The Negro scattered in the four corners are going to make it because they're Israelites. That is foolish, buffoonery. Whoever told you that, they off. But it's the times of the Gentiles over now, to where now it's too late. Like, share, subscribe. I told you I'd be back. I'm working right now. If you'd like to donate to the channel, $ Judah J Talks 144. That's $ JUDAH J Talks TALKS 144. Blessings to you. Until next time, y'all. Shalom. And serve the Most and seek the Most High, y'all. And Christ Yahushua Mashiach did die for you. He died for all of us and rose on the third day. Sent from the Father. Shalom.